Okay, there we go. And then
secretaries run the building, guys. I know that I'm the principal, but
I know I saw it.
It's quite possible. It doesn't ring.
Didn't apply to us, so I didn't put it in.
I totally understand.
okay, I'm sharing this. Okay, so I didn't print off copies. I'm trying to be environmentally friendly, but I did put it up there. So we're trying our first hybrid meeting, so yeah, let's see how it goes.
Been in person since.
Yes,
forever?
I think we did not have an in-person meeting at all last year.
Yeah,
and then
Yeah.
2 years ago we tried a hybrid, and then the tech didn't work. So this is going so much better already.
Yeah.
yes.
Well, yeah. So we're getting there. So one step at a time. Well, Mr. Wilt helped me out with the camera, and then I kind of hijacked the HDMI cord over there. So that's okay. So, yeah, I think we should get this meeting started. So we were going to go through our PTA business first and then have a welcome for Mr. Wicker. We've got some cupcakes and things like that. So, I'm Andrea Long. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the PTA president this year. We have 2 people, joined on Zoom. So, yeah, I have a 2023 graduate. He's at MSU this year, and I have a junior, and she's swimming right now down the hall. So, yeah, that's who I am. So, we were gonna do a student congress update. So we have Nick here who's joined us. So thank you for joining us. So we hope to have you at more meetings. You're welcome anytime. But we'd like to, give you an update about what we as parents are doing. And then we also love to hear about what you guys are doing as students. That's the whole like parent, teacher, student organization. So glad that you're here.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. So do you have any updates for us?
Yeah, so today in Student Congress, we also call it Stuco, we started like planning. So we just did the PEP assembly. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
September
Can I
wonderful.
tell you how excited I am about that? Like, I love that.
Yeah, no, it was really fun. I mean, we only had 2 days in notice to put it together. So it was a lot, but our whole class, we have about 64, 66 kids in the class. And so we got put into like groups of like 8, I think, and we all got like stuff to do, like decorations, scripts. So my team was the script. So we like wrote together a script and just ran everything. But it was really fun setting up. It wasn't too stressful, but today we just kind of did like creating the action plans, brainstorming, and setting goals. And then 5 times a year we'll follow up with the OAA schools. And then we have 3 students who like represent at those meetings. And then the conferences, they'll be in Frankenbooth, Macomb, Oakland schools, and Grand Rapids. And then so like we put like positions. We did like a voting where we had a couple kids like go up and say what position you want. And then so
Do you guys have your officers?
yeah, so the director of awards, we have that as Maddie Getz, which is Miss Getz's. I don't know if you guys, that's her daughter.
Yeah.
And then the director.
She's a bad kid. Put it on official on video.
Director of Communication is Eden Smith. Director of Community Services, Mia Janess. And then Director of Equity and Inclusion is Luke Johnson. And then Director of Social Activities is Claire Latek. And then the Director of Publicity is Ethan Wellborn. And then we split off. So it was supposed to be Director of School Right and Involvement, but we split it off. So it's to just Director of Involvement and School Spirit. That's what we did. So Director of School Spirit is Colton Kidney. He plays quarterback for Seaholm, so it's obviously good to have him there. And then Director of Involvement is Amelia. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. It's really long, but Amelia K something. And then our OA representatives, what I talked about earlier, the 3 people. It's Brandon Kinney, which is Colton's brother. He also plays football. Julia Richardson and Brindley Pratt. We're trying to get one more, so we're representatives for each grade. So right now we have a senior, a junior, and a sophomore. We're trying to get a freshman.
I have a volunteer. my son is it's Luke Johnson's brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he made Vance Johnson. He just told me, he literally just
He'll be voluntold.
He'll be voluntold.
I really like to get involved with student government, but I don't know how. So
Yeah, no.
I'll tell him I put his name in the hat.
Yeah, you can email
I
Miss
love
Betts
that.
or Miss Feliciano, and I'm sure they'll definitely set that up. And then just like some stuff that we're doing, like dance and ticket sales. This is like kind of what we're doing this try. So it's dance and ticket sales, like halftime, and then like the halftime like court for homecoming. So like the halftime is like for the homecoming game, we're gonna put on just some like fun stuff in the football field. And then we're gonna like also like set up the basketball court for homecoming, and then we do a charity drive. So right now, our charity drive, we're like selling these tropical smoothie cards. It's like $25 a card, and we have 40 of them. So it's like I think it's up to like $500. And I forget it's money for our class to be able to do these things, like to get more stuff for homecoming, more direct, like more decoration stuff like that. And then we'll have like banners and stuff in the hallways. And we have Maple Madness, which is like kind of Spirit Week. That's what Colton kind of runs. And then we have like Appreciation Week for like teachers and staff. And then we have we'll have a week where it's like kind of show love to Student Congress. That's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like asking people to like help us out. And then we do a bunch of stuff on social media. So we have a TikTok and an Instagram. And we're posting a bunch of stuff, like, I don't know if you guys follow the Instagram.
Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, so we post a bunch about the pep rally. We're gonna be posting about field day, helping just kind of telling what field day is gonna be about, what events are gonna be. And then the overall goal is just to make us better Maples, just trying to bring us all together so we can just, like, I don't know, have a fun time. But really in Stuco, we're just trying to make everything fun. So, but yeah, it's about all I have. But anybody have any questions?
I did have a question. So it's a class this year, right? So
Yeah,
those
it's a 3-try class.
64 or 60 some people, they're all in the class. Okay,
Runs third hour,
third hour.
so they can
Okay.
also do stuff at both lunches with the kids.
Okay.
And so usually for our third hour, this try you have B lunch, but sometimes they'll switch up. Like sometimes they'll have to put us in A lunch, or like sometimes we'll have to leave our second hour early to go into A lunch, because in Stuco, we have to walk around and sell like smoothies and stuff like that. So it changes, but it's 3 tries. It's every third hour, and it's about, I think, like 60 something kids per try. So
Okay.
So a large, about almost 5% of the student body is in Stuco. And in my mind, it's always my go-to. I need something done. Well, I'm going to look at my student leaders, and I have these people. So, we have been able to do like the Maple Cafe here. We want to have students eat in here, but food and books don't always mix. But we have some leaders from Stuco coming and helping clean up to make sure it's not messy for everyone, and really motivating, because it's better when your friends say, hey, don't leave your stuff in the library, we won't get to eat there, than it's me or one of the assistant principals or the librarian or something like that. So
Yeah.
and we help out a lot with cleaning up. So like I know past couple years they've kind of just had parents like come in and clean up like after homecoming stuff, but like before the pep assembly we set everything up, and then after we were cleaning up after school, and then for homecoming we'll set it up, and then we'll be there the next morning cleaning up. So just kind of take the like
Takes more
slack off,
ownership.
just like
and I envision it working with the Stuco instructors. I don't know if any of you guys have had the pleasure. A lot of times things were like prom were heavily run by parents, and we want to take that out of the parents' hands, not because they didn't do a nice job, but because we have these students, and students should plan prom, and they should plan homecoming, and parents can come and chaperone, do the dance, coat check and stuff like that. But the kids are more than capable of doing, almost everything that we have the parents doing for all these years. So
can you go in and out different tries? Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's a good
first try,
question.
there's a lot of excitement first try,
Yeah,
with homecoming and those, but it's not a requirement to be in all 3 tries. And and I'm not sure what it will look like next year when we transition to semesters. I think we'll probably tie it to 4th hour, which is the projected lunch hour again. And you also don't need to be in the class to be involved with the student congress.
Oh, you don't?
No, I mean, it's convenient, but since it does meet during 3rd hour, if you can't make it there that trimester, sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you can't make it there, but you have your lunch 3rd hour, and you can help out, and the way I've envisioned it, it just, you don't have as active of a role since you're not in the class. But for some kids, like freshman band is 3rd hour. We don't want to say, you can't be in student congress if you choose to be in band, or a handful of department chairs teach APs, and to make sure the flex kids have the opportunity to take them. There's a handful of APs that are only third hour. So we want to try to make sure we facilitate kids who want to get involved, still have an opportunity. Though it might be difficult to have a large leadership role if you're not in the class, but we don't want to turn kids away who want to help serve Seaholm and what we're doing.
Yeah, and adding on to what Mr. Wicker said, we have already I think we have 6 or 7 kids that come in during their lunch in our Stuco. They don't really do much. I mean, because it's kind of hard for them to help out because they're during their lunch, but they like listen and give ideas. So it's obviously good. But he was like, as Mr. Wicker was saying, like most kids are in it like kind of 1 or 2 tries, but I'm in it all 3 tries. And just because I want to help out. And the teachers are super great. Miss Getz and Miss Feliciano, they're super helpful. They're super involved with everything. And like what's great about them, even like outside of school, if you have issues, you can talk to them. They're super understanding. They're super flexible. So they're great people.
Is part of Stuco to maybe recruit other kids who are not members to help out like at homecoming, or is it just you guys? I mean, I can imagine that if
Honestly,
you're a younger
yeah.
person not going to homecoming and you still want to be a part of it.
Yeah,
I'll help you set up or clean up or whatever.
Yeah, that's obviously a part. We obviously try to get people involved in Stuco, but obviously we're not gonna be like, oh, join Stuco or else.
No.
But yeah, it's like
But the class is bursting at the seams, so we're doing a really good job. The kids are really taking part.
mhm.
Well, thanks for coming. We really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you for having me.
I did let him know he could go if you wanted to, so you're more than welcome to stick around though. So it's up to you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Grab a cupcake.
Yeah,
get a
grab a cupcake since you came.
Can't eat the cupcakes, but if I could.
Oh, sorry.
All right, thank you guys for having me.
Hi.
And let me- if you're going out the pool doors, you could grab a cupcake. Someone will take it off your hands before you get to your car. Ooh.
Good. Thank you.
That's a leadership credit.
So right now, it's just a general elective credit because there is not something, and we will look at it, but all the credits are changing starting next year when we transition to semesters, and we were returning to the MMC, or what was called the Michigan Merit Curriculum. So right now Seaholm requires all students to get 28 credits. And that works when you have, 5 classes that earn half credit. So we are, reducing it to what the state expects out of everyone. So 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 3 years of history, 3 years of science, and then, some of those electives. So there is no necessarily leadership requirement from the state of Michigan. So it grants elective credit, but it definitely, working with the OAA and things like that, it will be a great way to show leadership on things like your resume and your college application.
What is the OAA?
The Oakland Activities Association. It used to be the Oakland Athletic Association, so it was just the sports, but then we, the Royal Week, because it was long before I was principal. Our athletic directors still get together at OAA meetings, but then people like the student Congress leaders and other student leaders, they get together and, especially this thing he talked about going to Grand Rapids, that's the entire state of Michigan, and all the different schools go and you share ideas of things. Our charity week was born at one of those conferences where they heard that another school on the west side was doing it. So
Sorry, it's a different topic, but when will the new graduation requirements be finalized and communicated?
hopefully soon. I mean,
Second try.
So, I can tell you that we will be Michigan Merit Curriculum, which is online right now.
Okay.
So, it's again 3 credits of science, 3 credits of social studies, 4 of English, 4 of math, a full credit that includes PE and health, so half credit of both, and then a certain amount of arts credits, which I don't know off the top of my head. So, that will be the graduation requirements, and then we will also fill out the difference with just, elective credits as students will go. So right now, if a student, which a vast majority of our students do, pass every class at Seaholm, you end up with 30 credits and you only need 28 to graduate. So there is a little wiggle room, and that will also be the case. I think with 6 classes, everyone will get 3 credits a semester or 6 credits a year. So 6, 12, 18, 24. So the kids will need 22 to graduate, and most kids will get 24. And I think the MMC is only 17 or 18. So we still have those additional elective credits here that the students need to take.
Okay, so back to our agenda. So we've got a fundraiser this year for the PTA. So we're doing an auction. It's running this week. It went live yesterday at 8 a.m. It's one junior parking spot and yeah, yes. And
You released more today.
I know, my friend was like, so-and-so got a parking pass.
Yeah, I'll talk about it in my principal update.
Yeah, yeah, you're not yet. So, then, yeah. It also has 6 coveted seats at graduation as well, which is at the, Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. So it's a great venue. And so it's really nice to have those spots. Jen knows about them. I think she's online right now, but,
Yes, I got them. I bid on those last year and they were absolutely amazing. Front and center, front row to see your child graduate. Wonderful. So I
And
highly
we-
recommend it.
Thanks, Jen. We actually have $400 so far in bids. So and the auction closes on Friday at noon. So we'll have our curriculum night on Thursday. We'll have lots of signs. You can bid on things that night if it's eligible to you, realizing it's only a junior family and a senior family. But we just started our first online auction, so hopefully everything will go off without a hitch there. We have our first Fridays and our monthly treats. So I put a couple QR codes on the table here. So first Fridays is we take donations. Emily can probably update that a little bit.
Well, Sarah is the cheering and I'm just her like helper. But basically we take donations from parents in the community and there's gifts and gift cards and then we draw names and I think we decided there's 220 or 222. It kind of fluctuates staff members. And so we're doing 24 each month. And so everybody gets one. And if there's extras, that's great. But it's just a fun way to, show our appreciation to.
And I call the names at the end of 4th hour and with a couple minutes left and you just see the teachers running down the hallway. Yeah.
Because some of the gift cards are more than others.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to get down there and what was
Get the decorative spoon.
or things like that, or the Amazon cards are gone. A young man ended up with a Nordstrom gift card that he said he was going to give to his wife, and that's a smart idea.
Yes, that is.
But the staff loves it. The kids love to see how excited the staff gets,
Yeah, so that's First Fridays. That's run by Sarah Muzzin and Emily Johnson. And then the other thing we're doing, we started it last year. It's the monthly staff treats. So PTA sponsors half of the treat and then a family can sign up to sponsor the other half of the treat. So we've done cider and donuts before. It's just like an extra monthly thing that we started last year that seems to it usually has a theme and it seems to go well. So there's Sign Up Geniuses for both of those. They're in the e-news and you can go ahead and sign up for both of those if you're willing to make a donation. As far as directory, is Bonnie's not online.
I'm right here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She is not online.
Oh my God, she's not online. I'm
Hey
like,
guys, can you hear me if I jump in?
yes.
Just so you know, this is Amy Garrett. The link that was posted on Facebook does not work. The link that I was able to connect through is the one that is on the PTA website meeting page. So I don't know if you want to, there are other people that are trying to get in that don't have the right link.
Okay.
Amy, which link is that? Sorry.
So Zoom.
So the one posted on the Facebook page with the QR code is not successful. The one that was successful is the one that is posted on the PTA website page under the meeting.
Oh.
Yeah, because
I'm so sorry.
three's a
Whitney.
little light for, for us, so on Zoom, usually it's somewhere in the 20s.
Thanks, Amy.
Yeah, so I think that's your issue.
Yeah, I wondered why we were so, why we didn't have very many Zoom participants, actually.
I didn't take it personally.
That's good.
I do.
Yeah.
Did you find Joe's our social media guy?
Social
so-
media guy, so yeah. That's me.
We're cutting your pay, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. You get half a cupcake tonight. Thanks a lot, Amy.
Going in the other room.
So I'm gonna let Bonnie talk about directories then, because she's here in person.
Can you move down here though, so you're closer to the microphone?
You have to sit
Thank
next to me.
That's great. So we had 41% of individuals in the directory access or update their information, which is pretty good. And then the directories are scheduled to be distributed Thursday night at curriculum night for individuals that are paid members of the PTA. So we should be all good with that. So
Okay, yep, and if they don't want, I mean, it's included in their membership, right, the directory?
yes.
But what if when is the online version like live? Is that already live now or
Oh, I
it's
think
available
I think
anytime?
yeah, I think it's anytime. So
Okay,
I
okay.
will double check on that. I'm not really
I think
sure,
I think
so,
it is.
but-
I think after you update your information, it's just there, right?
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, yeah, I've been able to get in, but I
Yeah.
don't know how that works with the paid membership, actually.
Yeah, I don't
I'd have
know.
to ask Leslie.
Yeah,
I don't know how
yeah.
That works, so.
Yeah, so the way you get a directory, if anybody's wondering, you just pay your $25 dues on eFunds or to our Venmo account, and then you update your information and membership toolkit. And then you get a free printout of the directory and you get online access as well. So anytime you want to look up a student's name, or if they've decided to share their parents' information, or you've decided to share your email or your phone number, all of it is readily available in the directory. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Jen, I'm gonna send it over to you so you can present a draft of our budget so we can get it posted for 30 days and then vote on it.
Okay, awesome. And boy, I was thinking maybe nobody wanted to see the budget, but now I understand why. Okay. Let me know when you see, all right. Can you see my screen?
We can.
What are you seeing right now? Are you seeing the
I'm seeing
spreadsheet?
your
Or are you seeing?
folders.
Okay, so let me change that. Hold on 1 second. It's a weird kind of weird stop sharing thing. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's try again. Your screen. Okay. How about now?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Excellent. Okay, wonderful. Technology works. So I'll just go through this really quickly. The highlight of all of this is that every dollar we bring in, we spend, we'd like to spend in the current year. That obviously makes sense, right? If you're a senior parent, you don't want to pay dues or have a contribution or donation and it doesn't get used in the year that your child's in school. So the goal is to have a net zero budget, which you'll see here. Most of our money comes in through our direct donations, which again, we get through either eFunds as mentioned, or directly through the Venmo account. We also have suggested additional amounts. So you'll note that we asked if families wanted to have an additional donation above and beyond the $25 membership fee, which a number of families do. So that's where we get the majority of our funds from. So you'll see what we budgeted this year was similar, a little below where we were last year for a couple of different reasons, but for the most part, in line with last year. We had a boon on directory ads last year, but scaled it back a little this year. So all in all, we're expecting income just north of 35,000. That's where we are hoping to get. And the majority of that, as we come down, is really spent on PTA grants. And the grants, again, well, I don't know, Andrea, are we talking a little bit more about the grant process during this meeting?
We weren't, but we can definitely highlight that. We
Yeah.
spoke to the staff members yesterday and introduced the grant process.
I
So,
saw lots of people printing them out today.
oh,
Perfect.
good, good.
So the grant process, just for anyone else who isn't aware, we, money is given to teachers based on grants that are presented to the PTA board and then is voted on. And those grants are really used for classroom items. Some of the grants have been regular year after year, and they've just become recurring line items. So for example, Make Me a Maple support, which you'll see down here, is now just a standard line item as we've chosen to support it going forward every single year. Same with the Seaholm radio station. So the grants that have really been regular have become more just regular expenses in our budget. And then we have a general line item for other grants. And again, we fulfill those over the course of the year. And then there's some miscellaneous other things that are funded, some donations, which I'll go through below, and then a district-wide scholarship. And then we have some operating expenses, which I won't bore anybody with, some of which are just, as a PTA, we need to pay dues to the Michigan PTA and National PTA councils. We do cover parent teacher conference dinners. We do 2 dinners, which we also pay for out of these funds. And then, various things such as the new family picnic, some other hospitality and marketing and such. But again, I think the message here is that, and I'll just go back up again, is you'll note the majority of the money that's coming in is being spent on the grants that are submitted to us from the Seaholm staff. And we're already underway. We've had a couple grants that have already been approved. So I think that's really exciting. You'll see net, just to give everybody, we come down to a negative $19 balance. When all is said and done, we of course won't actually end up there as things move around, but the goal is to get everything spent. We do have some donations that have been done year over year from the PTA to things like Bloom, the Friends for Different Learners, the SOS race, and other things you'll note there. So this budget is presented, and then we will keep this posted for 30 days. If there's any commentary, and of course, if there's any questions now, happy to take any questions or go back to address any particular line items.
Yeah, so does anybody have any questions about the budget? So it'll basically be sit for 30 days, and then we will motion to approve the budget, and then that would be our set budget for the school year. That's kind of the process.
And we took a quick survey by raising hands at the staff meeting on Monday about how many people have taken part in the PTA grants, and it was a majority of teachers have done it over the years. So,
That's great.
They do a great job with thinking about, what can we add to the classroom that will just be that one extra thing to help the kids, either learn the concept or, connect it to, what's going on in real life or things like that. And we really appreciate the PTA's ability to give our teachers that flexibility and that creativity in their classroom.
Okay, thanks, John.
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and stop sharing and let you get back to the
Anybody have
agenda.
any questions online, I guess? I see more people joining, so. Hi, everybody who's joining. Sorry about the mix up. Hopefully more people will join as we go. We just went through the budget. I realize I do need to go back. I missed an item on my agenda.
And Andrea, what I'll do is just to reiterate for those joining, this will be posted for 30 days. As PTA treasurer, I'm happy to take any questions or talk through any line items. We can also talk about this at a different point if anybody be interested as well. But this will be posted for everybody to review before it takes effect. Just so you know that we are getting lots of our PTA direct donations and membership dues in, which is fantastic, and hopefully we'll be hitting these numbers soon. Most everything comes in early in the year, so.
Keep it coming. Alina, do you have any updates? I know we had a couple motion.
The only
approved.
votes we've done are on some grants that are open, so we haven't had any other electronic votes. When we do, I will report them at the next PTA meeting.
Yeah.
A change that we made this year is not to run the meeting on Facebook Live, because we're recording it on Zoom and the link will be on Facebook, so anybody that wants to join could just join the Zoom. And then we'll post the recording of the video to YouTube like we did last year. So we're just dropping the Facebook Live portion of it.
Thank you. And let's see, the PTA reflections contest. So it's a little bit, I mean, the due dates will come up fast though. So I just wanted to share that real quick. It's on the website. Wish I could share my whole. Oh yeah, I can. Sorry, you guys, just one second. So the PTA reflections, so it's basically a national PTA program. And this year's theme is I am hopeful because. So if you want to learn more, if you want to learn how your student can participate, just go onto the Seaholm website under PTA information and PTA reflections. And your student can find out all the information, but the deadline is November 27th this year. So.
And we haven't had as much participation as I think we could support. I mean, we have a lot of creative kids at Seaholm, and if you look at the categories, it's not just, you know, painting, drawing. It's not just the traditional paper fine arts. There's dance, there's choreo, there's all sorts of things. And we have so many creative kids here that I think that we could definitely have a larger presence in reflections. And I'm working with our music and fine arts staff to try to encourage them to speak to our kids to, you know, really get them involved in this competition.
Yeah, we do have a lot. There's winners at every level as well, like the state level and then the regional. And then we did have a national winner in 2021-22 school year. So.
Yeah, and dance choreography, the category that not many people would think as a high school student they could be involved in. But
yeah,
we have so many great performers in Maple Motion and so many other places. The Reflections really has a lot more to offer than I think some of our students realize.
Yeah, I think so too. Next, before you go, I forgot to give a couple updates about field day. So just encourage your students to participate. Make sure you've bought a t-shirt for field day. That's on eFunds. You can buy your field day t-shirt and get ready for the canned food drive. So that'll be the week of homecoming. So they'll try to stuff the bus. So just get ready to bring in canned goods. And then the other thing Ryan wanted me to mention is to shop at the Kroger on Lasser and Maple September 30th through October 1st for added donations, I guess, whatever. We must get a proceed from the sales that day. Schools offer support is just something I wanted to plug. This is their race is coming up. So I think it's here. It's kind of small now, but they have a run on October 1st. So the date to the last day to register for a free t-shirt is September 18th. And the school, this is interesting. The school with the largest participation gets a cash prize. So if Seaholm had the most attendees, then
when Seaholm has
there we go. Not if. The overall winner and the top BPS employee in the 5K, male and female, get a $50 Hanson's gift card. And then at packet pickup, you can enter to a free drawing for a chance to win 2 tickets to the Lions game on October 8th.
which
So,
that becomes a more and more valuable prize as
Sure
they
does.
continue to do well.
yeah. So that's SOS. And then, I already talked about reflections. So I'm sending it over to Mr. Wicker for the principal's update.
Wonderful. So greetings, everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Mike Wicker. I am the principal here. I was the assistant principal for the last 5 years. And before that, I was the department chair of social studies. And then before that, I was a social studies teacher. So this is my 14th year in working at Seaholm. And then if you include my 4 years as a student, I've been here a long time. So really special place to me. When Miss Hall retired, when she was in the building today, so I hadn't seen her since she
Aw.
retired. So she spent the return to school in Italy with her husband because a lot of school, it's hard your first. She told me this was the first year since she was 5 that she didn't have her first day of school. So she spent it learning to bake and drinking wine in Italy. So it doesn't sound too bad as a trade-off, but this summer during the spring, we hired Brad Shupry, who was our former science department chair, to fill our role as assistant principal in the spot that I left, I vacated to become principal. And then many of you might know Delois Spryzak was the other assistant principal who just had the delight to tell me she was retiring on July 25th. And we miss her a lot, but that gave me another opportunity to hire someone. So her name is Jennifer Hodson. She was teaching at a high school in a southern suburb of Cincinnati. So, and just in northern Kentucky. So she moved up to Michigan. She just started last Tuesday after the holiday. So we're happy to have her on board. She was a 14-year math teacher at her high school. And then she had done 3 years as assistant principal. So we have Jen, who has a little experience, and then we have Brad, who was our department chairs are administrators, so he has 5 years of administration as well. So the 3 of us are a new administrative team, along with Rochelle Rogers, retired, longtime social studies teacher. So Jason Basner has moved to the department chair of social studies, and then with Brad leaving, we moved up Stephen Clare as the department chair of science. So, great new administrative team. And then we have 8 new teachers we hired, or 8 new people. So including Jen, we hired a new English teacher. His name is Joe. And sorry, Joe, when you watch this, I'm not sure exactly his last name, but he's starts with an S. He's a good guy. Jeff Hopper replaced Rochelle Rogers. He teaches AP psychology. We hired a new science teacher, Allison Holloway. So she's teaching AP biology. We have 2 teachers in English department going on, but one is on maternity leave for trimester 1. So Haley McKinney is on maternity leave. And then Rachel Chafu is going in try 2. So we hired Gabby away from Connecticut. So she's a long-term English sub. We have another long-term sub in Spanish, who will be starting as soon as we can get all the paperwork, because we have a Spanish teacher on leave. And then the same day in July, when Miss Spryzak retired, Bernie Sims retired from engineering, and we hired Robert Williams from Detroit Public Schools, and he will be starting as soon as we can get him released. So we have new faces in the building, and it's very exciting, and people want to be here, and it's nice to have some new blood, and wishing our retirees well. Jen Smith, former English teacher, she retired down to Florida. Brian Flatter, the counselor, is down in Florida. Rochelle Rogers retired to Florida. So it just maybe just a bit of a theme. So we have a lot of new teachers, and it's one of those great opportunities because unfortunately, or fortunately, like a district like Birmingham, we can afford to hire. People will leave their district. So we do try to sometimes hire those new teachers, but we get afforded that experience. And with that experience comes, that fresh knowledge, from, the schools they worked at, and we involve their information. And what they, there's nothing like, what they did at their school, and we can cherry pick the best stuff from all the surrounding schools, from Southeast Michigan or, abroad. Again, the English long-term sub is from Connecticut, and Jen from Kentucky. They all have different things their school did, and we're gonna stay true to our core, things that we do here, but it never hurts to add something new and new fun. So lots of fresh faces here at school. You can see them all at curriculum night on Thursday, except for Mr. Shuprai will be at the football game, at Berkeley on Thursday night because they asked for someone to come and join them there. Things that are going on in the building. We as administrative team definitely have a commitment to not rebuilding, but reinvigorating our climate and culture, both with the staff and with the students. So things like the pep rally and other things, really working with our student leaders and student congress to, we don't expect the average 15-year-old to love to come to high school every day, because the adults don't love coming to high school every day because we're all people, but we're really working on that identity of what it means to be a Seaholm student, what it means to be a Maple, and find some pride in that, and find support of our fellow Maples. So, when we go to football games or basketball games or other sporting events, I'm not necessarily opposed, because the kids, sometimes it's nice to rag the other team, but it would be nice to hear our kids cheering on our kids and not cheering against the other team. So one of the things that, I'm working with, working on that, post-COVID, it was hard. Some of our kids, we have kids every year that come that this is still their first year back. They went virtual last year or the year before. So, and we're just working on building that culture and getting that Maple spirit. And the same thing with the staff. The PTA is doing great with, staff appreciation, but the staff lounge used to be full of people. And then COVID, obviously, people step back and we're eating, more in their classrooms, but I'm working on fun things to get our staff to interact with one another again. So that is definitely a commitment, both again with staff and students, to rebuild the climate and culture of the building, and maybe just re-identify, because the students are going to leave here and people are going to identify them. Oh, you go to Seaholm, you go to school in Birmingham, and that's going to mean something. And if we can help them internalize what it truly means, you're not going to say, oh, you're from Seaholm, this is who you are. It's like, no, this is who we are as a group. We are the Maple Forest, and work on that self-identity. Some nuts and bolts stuff. Again, if you haven't been by Seaholm lately, there is a very large pile of gravel in the parking lot. And this is what we call the staff lot, but we are hoping to return students. So this was primarily last year with such a large senior class, all the seniors parked in the lot by the pool and the football field, and the juniors were all over here. So we do have juniors in the pool lot. I was talking to Ms. Hodson and Curtis. We walked a lot on Monday and we counted, and then we walked a lot again today, and there were open spots. So we released 12 more kids off the junior lottery today. And of course that spurred kids that didn't make it on the lottery to hear, is this the last one? And the answer is no. I mean, as soon as we get that gravel pile and everything gone, as soon as, if you've been in the student lot, and maybe the football game, when that fence is finished, there's going to be equipment and materials that are going to free up spaces, and we're committed to getting, there's empty parking spots doesn't help anyone. So as soon as we have more room, we're committed to getting more juniors a parking spot, because, they've earned that privilege and it's exciting, and, going out to lunch and open lunch and things like that. So I'm well aware that there are large groups of juniors who still would like a parking pass, and we're going as fast as we can. But again, like that big pile, and you guys on video can't see it, but I was told by Barton Malo that was going to be gone on the first day of school. And I feel like it's bigger today than it was on the first day of school. But the new baseball field and new softball field that the stones are going, they're going to be beautiful and wonderful. But we're just working on clearing that out. And regaining that spots for everyone, so we can hopefully get that done. If your students haven't talked to you, the lunch program is going very well. The state legislature and the governor, they passed free lunch and breakfast for all students. And our kitchen staff was a little nervous at first that how that was going to happen, but our kids have been really great. They've been respectful in line. One of the big concerns is in order for it to be free, it has to have a fruit or vegetable, and the kids have been really great about following the rules. So Cindy in the cafeteria and her whole team have been really pleased with how our kids are doing, and the program's working really, really well. And then field day, you know, this is my first time in 14 years that I'm not intimately involved. So I've kind of stepped back, and Mr. Shuprai is the admin in charge of it, but I'm still working with him because this is his first year. But they had negotiations today. Lots of kids are involved. You know, it's gonna be, you know, after the big 100 last year, so 101. I'm surprised that no one went with the 101 Dalmatian themes for their class, but you know, I feel like really missed opportunity. Just, you know, we wouldn't tell Disney, they're a little litigious with their property, but no, field day is going really well. I was told that we might need more help from the sophomore parents. So if we have any sophomore parents online or watching this, if you want to reach out to either Ryan himself or Hannah Cole, who is the teacher who's in charge of the sophomore class, if you have time and you want to come and help after school. But you know, the kids are excited. The fall just has so much energy between field day and the homecoming dance and all the fall sports and just the returning to campus, because every kid hates going to school, but by that time in August, they want to be back here. They want to be back with their friends. And, you know, we just have so many, you know, between Maymo and the cheerleaders and sports and robotics, there's so many things going on in the fall. And as one of the 2 employees that work in July, it was very quiet here with myself and Kathy Tangeris, the secretary. So it's nice when the teachers got back in August, and it's even better when the kids get back. So, and that's everything. If anyone has any questions.
Yeah, do you guys have questions? I know we have a couple questions in the chat. I'm just gonna go. Okay, that was about the audio. Thank you. Okay, any idea when the seniors sweatshirts will be handed out to the seniors if they bought one? So
Are those the senior sweatshirts sponsored by the Seaholm All Night Party?
I know, Angela, do you know if those are the all night parties senior sweatshirts?
Yeah, it's whatever we paid for in the e-funds. Like, I swear there was like 8 different things for the seniors. It's
Yeah.
their class hoodie, whatever.
Yeah, so I believe those are an all night
All-night.
party fundraiser. So
They are.
to put on my fake legalese, technically All Night Party is a separate organization for the Birmingham Public Schools. So we are glad they help to support them through things like e-funds, but they're their whole other organization. So I don't know when they will be releasing them.
We can find out, Angela. And
Okay,
then,
or if you want to tell me like who I should contact, I just know that they had put a description like, you know, for them to be able to wear to the football games, and like football's already going on. So I was hoping that it would be sooner than later.
yeah, so hang on, let me just,
So Andrea, I was gonna say, whoever the parent are, their parent reps for the all night party already picked. I know.
yeah,
I
so.
remember
we
last
usually
year,
can
our
for
our
sure-
seniors got them last year. I mean, I would guess it's going to be imminent.
Here,
I do feel like we got them early.
if you send, so Ryan Brooks is the parent representative chair, so you can definitely send him a message. But there's, sometimes the parent reps do sometimes the parent reps handle the all night party themselves. And sometimes they, form a separate committee. I don't know what they're doing this year.
But hopefully soon, you know, because last Friday's game was, in comparison to the first game where it was 100 degrees, last Friday's game was beautiful and cool. And
Yeah. It's usually, they also usually sell them at the football game once they're ready. So I remember that happening. I have a 2023 graduate, and I remember they were being sold at the football game once they were ready. But that was like later on in the football season, but we'll find out.
Okay, thank you.
And then there's a treasurer question, but I will send this, just wondering if we can change the setting on the Venmo account to make it a private transaction. Is that your individual setting, or?
Yeah, you can set up Venmos, but your transactions are private, and Venmo isn't able to solicit any of the funds.
Right.
That was recently adopted
I-
in the privacy policy and made it possible for you to make your.
Okay. Can you hear that, Jen?
I didn't hear that one. I'm sorry, Andrea. I didn't hear that.
So Michelle mentioned that, we think it's the individual may have to make their account private in order for it to be a private transaction like on Venmo.
I guess, what does a private transaction on Venmo mean?
So that you can't see what's all gone, who's contributed and what's been paid out. We changed it on the band Venmo. It just, you know, it allows some privacy for who's paying in or out.
So she's saying that Venmo account for PTA. can be private.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I'm hearing it as.
it's some,
I'll take a look at it and see if there's something I can change. I know part of the issue that we had is that you weren't able to search for it if it was private, and many people, I guess, try to search for it to be able to pay. And so that could be part of the issue, is why, if you remember that issue we had originally, Andrea, was we couldn't find it when searched for. So let me go and see if I can figure out a way to make it private, but still have it be searchable.
If
Yeah.
you want to give me a holler about that, again, we switched it for the band account, and then we're still able to generate reports for payments.
okay, great. Thank you for that. Does anybody have any other questions? We got about 5 minutes left. Our next meeting is October 10th. That'll be an executive board meeting where we'll be voting on the grants that have come in. And we'll be passing the budget. Yeah. As long as it sits for 30 days and everybody is okay with it. On November 14th would be our next hopefully hybrid meeting again. Hopefully this works. We're able to record it, so we're still able to get the information out for people to watch later. So I think that's important. We're still getting our message out, but does anybody have any questions? Our last 5 minutes. The people in person have a wonderful welcome for Mr. Wicker. So we have cupcakes here to eat. Unfortunately, there's a board meeting tonight, so we don't have district people here to welcome you. That was a misstep on, it was planned a long time ago, and we were going to have a nice introduction to you. So maybe we'll have to have another little makeup event, but
Anything with cupcakes, I'll come to.
Yeah,
Please let
yeah.
me know when it is.
You have to be here anyway.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
But I will
I
say,
would want to be even independently of me
Right,
needing to
but-
be.
yes. Yes,
Cupcakes are the icing on top.
Correct.
yeah, the top.
Yeah.
But no, we just,
Okay.
we appreciate you. We, to have somebody lead the helm, to make more of a community that you're talking about. I think as parents, we all want that. So the things that you're saying are definitely, resonate and what we're feeling as well. So we just want to welcome you with open arms and appreciate you stepping into this role. That's,
So Seaholm's like a cruise ship. It's gonna take a little while to turn, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not expected, but I will say the kids, the pep rally on Friday went much better than I expected between both the staff and the students. So it has really, you know, put us out in the right foot. And I know how much fun the Stuco kids had planning it, and you know, how much the kids at least appeared to have being there. To the point where, I mean, this is kind of silly to say, but I heard some kids are like, I'm glad I didn't skip it. Like, which is like a
yeah.
very strong feeling to me,
that is,
because that, you know, it acknowledged their truth that they didn't really want to be there at first. But you know, that saying, you know, that they were happy that they were forced to come, you know, and hopefully, and we are able to work with Groves to have the same schedule, so the kids could still travel to their class. We were able to set some time apart in the end of the day, so it wasn't just like your 5th hour becomes the pep rally, which throws things off for both our staff and students who are missing their class, or, you know, if you're a teacher, you know, you have 3 sections of the same course and suddenly your 5th hour you didn't have today. So, you know, I'm appreciative of Susan Smith and the admin team over at Groves to share that schedule and find something for their staff and students to do for that hour at the end of the day.
oh, that's cool. Yeah, so if I motion for the meeting to be adjourned. Okay. So can I have a second?
Second. Sure.
I wonder, can I motion or does somebody else have to motion? We'll have to look up the rules.
So
for
we
that.
following the pure Robert's Rules of Order?
Yes.
As the
yes.
former parliamentarian of the Michigan Men's Glee Club, I do not believe that you as the president can make them.
I don't think I can either. I apologize for
You can
everybody.
mention the
I
motion.
mentioned
you
that
can't-
the motion needs to be
You
made.
can queue it up, but you
Yeah.
can't make it yourself.
And introduce the need for a motion.
Okay, so thanks everybody for coming online. Again, we'll have this recording on YouTube and we'll have a link on the Facebook page. And then hopefully we'll get more and more participation. So thanks everybody for joining. Have a great night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay.